Welcome back, everybody, to episode 27 of the Weebology podcast. How are you today, Rickard?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you all for coming to class. How are you doing today, Ethan?
Yeah, moving on.
What the? Like I wasn't even here. How dare you?
No, yeah, I'm fine, dude.
It's good to hear.
It's winter time, so it gets dark now.
Yeah, it does. And now we have to turn on every light inside of the laboratory to even be seen. The darkness permeates all things, but it's warm and cozy and lit all up here in our anime laboratory. It feels good in here.
It does.
Except for the fact we have to turn the air off because it would show up on mic, so...
It's cool. As I said, it's winter.
Yeah.
That normally means that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but not in here. It's hot as balls.
It's really not.
It
is 69 degrees in this room.
To keep it in perspective, everyone, I keep my apartment at a balmy 64 all the time. Like, I really do.
What do you mean?
That's hot, you know. It's a little hot, you know.
What the hell
If
are
I
you
wanted
talking
to, I'd make it, you know, an even 6-0, but you know, the environment and all that shit. So
this is insane. So let me put it into perspective. If he puts it at 65 during like a 90-degree day, he's destroying the environment.
I'm literally
himself.
single-handedly causing climate change to be a climate like tumble. Like the whole thing is coming down. But at least I'll be comfortable.
It's more like not a climate change. It's more like a climate shift.
Oh, yeah. And it shifts in my favor. Because
Yeah.
as while the world burns, I'll be cozy.
So the way I kind of go about it is I'll keep it at like 72 is sleeping time, but 75 is not sleeping time during the summer. And that is terrible for me. I hate that. And then in the winter, I just turn off all air.
Yeah,
just
for
let
real.
it be as cold as it'll be.
I can dig that. I can get behind that in the actual winter months. I can open my windows.
Here's
And
my life
let it all come
philosophy,
in.
folks.
Yeah,
You can always put on more clothes. You can't get more naked.
exactly. That's what I love that philosophy. That's why I'm at a constant 50 degrees at all times in my apartment.
getting
A cool
cooler.
40, a balmy, sweaty 45.
It's
You know,
honestly too hot.
I literally want it to be a click above freezing.
Turn it down.
I do. I just actually don't want to shut my fridge so I can just get corn dogs on the fly, you know? I just don't even want to ever shut it. I just want it to be freezing all the time. Ethan, that's how I want my place.
Hey, I'm right there with you, bud.
If it could get to sub-zero, just listen, like absolute 0 Kelvin, that would be finally my ideal
0
temperature.
Kelvin?
Yeah, you know, like Rukia style from Bleach, absolute 0 Kelvin, that's where I want it to be.
Like negative 700?
Yeah. No, actually, that'd be great. Do you know a guy who can set that up for me? Or?
I really do.
Do you really?
Turns out, hard to achieve Kelvin 0.
It really is hard to achieve, but I feel like once science gets there, I'm going to put it
It's
in
there.
my whirlpool.
People can do it.
Oh, they can do it.
It's just really freaking hard.
Well, yeah, but I like it cold, so I want it.
Okay, fair enough. So next episode will be
Next episode will be how to clean your apartment. Lifestyle tips with Ricky and Ethan. But what are we actually talking about today, Ethan?
Today we are talking about our favorite squads.
Squad? Favorite squads, teams, corps, whatever you want to call it,
Groups.
in anime. They are known, you know, a lot of them. One of your favorite things, Ethan, that you've said repeatedly on the podcast is you like a group with a good name, like the 7 blank or the 10 blank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of spawned this idea of, well, there's a lot of really good teams and squads in anime, and we should rip a couple of those down. And why do we actually like them? So, should we start with an obvious one? You know, a real banger.
So guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. Mine are gonna be literally all over the place.
Likewise.
So like, I'll start. Can I just start off with a rando?
Hit me, dude.
So like in Naruto,
Yes.
this I think is where you were going.
Yes.
There's the Akatsuki, which is sick,
Oh my gosh.
but also like the different Kages. Like that's another subgroup.
like in history.
Right,
Okay.
Like the 4 Kage. So like for most of the show, right? You don't know most of them.
Yeah.
We're not really introduced to them.
Unless if they're not from the leaf, you're kind of drip fed other villages. Kages.
So like thinking like, okay, the first through 4th Hokage, we didn't really know a whole lot about. We knew obviously the 3rd because
he was around. He was kicking.
But like to me, when they like have this mythos about them and they call him like, oh, Lord 3rd, Lord 2nd,
God of Shinobi for
holy snikes, folks. That is a one-way ticket to my heart.
So you think that a good lore makes for a good squad?
Yes.
Okay, so that's actually one of the reasons why, the Akatsuki is on anyone's favorite anime team list. It's one of the most iconic. I think so in so many words, what strikes you as most potent about the Akatsuki for you? Is it the kind of edgy aesthetic or how they operate together? What is it for you that really does it?
I think what's crazy is at the time, so S rank ninja are like unbelievable,
Right.
You're like, holy shit. Like, we don't know really any S rank ninja. We literally know Kakashi is one, and
Right.
Asuma we assume is one because he's one of the like
Fire guards.
fire guardians or
Yeah.
whatever. Also cool. But like we assume there's not many of these dudes, right? And the fact that it's a team of only S rank rogue ninjas.
Right. They're originally criminals, so that their backstories for everyone is already set up to be a mad litty. Like they're all gonna have crazy backstories about why they're criminals. But to me, I think what strikes me as my favorite part is how good they are at their mission. The entire reason the Akatsuki were created was to go combat and capture tailed beasts.
Right.
So not only are they set up in a team of 10, but they're in tiny teams of 2 meant to complement each other. So not only is the entire team super cool, very unique ninja, but the tiny 2-man cells as a unit are also super cool.
Yeah. The rest of the world would call those pairs.
It's a 2-man
two.
cell. It's a 2-man cell. They're all
the
cells.
cell was better than a team of 2.
I brought it home. Shut up.
He did. He was honestly floundering, and he picked it up at the
I rounded
end.
third a little hard, but I slid into home like a G. So I think my
did
favorite
a somersault.
I think my favorite example of the 2-man, I don't know, group team, if only there is
Kakuzu
somewhere.
and Hidan?
Yes, exactly.
Dude, for real.
That's the best team because Kakuzu don't give a fuck. He's strong enough to go toe to toe with, I think, to survive a fight against the first Hokage.
True.
And Hidan can't die. So and Kakuzu's weird kind of string jutsu about his body can help Hidan sew his immortal body back together if dismembered. So they are literally the prime example of what makes these 2-man cells so awesome.
Potent,
for
so
sure.
there's been like lore even within the Akatsuki where like Kakuzu keeps killing his freaking teammate.
Yes, he has had a really bad rap sheet.
And
with
so Pain using Yahiko's body is like, all right, fine, bitch. You want to keep killing all your teammates? Well, here's this immortal dude with a big ass scythe.
Try this schmuck on for size, which is it turns out to be a great fit. So and a lot of the other ones have a very similar kind of back and forth rapport with each other. So yeah, I think it's just I like the idea of a well thought out group that are good at seeking out, that are built specifically to seek out a single goal. And the Akatsuki seem, pretty good about that.
And plus, they're so like mysterious for most of the show. You hear like there's this group out there doing like kind of bad stuff, and like honestly, since we're following mostly the Leaf, we don't really hear them like take out the Two Tails, right?
Oh, right.
Because none of the villages would obviously want that knowledge out.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fact that it's kind of drip fed to you in that way, and then like it's a mystery. I super dug that because it's like you felt like it was kind of spy games between the nations too, because nobody wants the others to know that they lost their tailed beast, or
right.
For instance that they what's their freaking names? The Akatsuki like basically owned the blood mist for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And so like I don't know, it was just like they're such a bad ass group, and then like so chaotic evil.
If we're gonna sit on Naruto as well, the one group I was gonna bring up was the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist.
Super dope.
Because so I would say that the 2 things I like about them, one is obviously their swords. I mean, each sword has a very unique skill. And some of them seem to persist all the way through Naruto and Naruto Shippuden because of their lore and their actual battle potency, but also how this is a group that is generations old. there are people looking to take the place of one of the seven swordsmen. So I like a group that's been around and have almost like slots for people to kind of come in.
Totally.
The Akatsuki kind of have a bit of that with Orochimaru kind of coming in and then back out. But, it's like if you're a seven Swordsmen of the Mist member, you're kind of in it till you die. Like, there has never really been someone just to be like, peace, I'm out. Sabuza, did he kind of dip, or was he always one? He just kind of went on his own.
So, yeah, that is a weird situation because also, for whatever reason, I can't think of the guy's name. The zero-tailed beast, Itachi's partner, Shark Boy,
Kisame. Kisame.
Yeah, so he's got the seven deadly sword.
Saramara or whatever. No, the shark one that can eat chakra.
It'll like eat chakra.
Yeah.
So what I think happened is at some point the seven deadly. God dang it!
I was actually.
That's gonna be a group.
You almost blew my load in my group.
The seven swordsmen of the mist, I guess, disbanded because the executioner blade goes with Zabuza, and then whatever that Samasu or whatever goes with.
It's like Samamata or whatever. I don't know.
Samaheda.
Samaheda. Yeah, there it is.
Goes with Kisame.
Okay.
But those, so like, yeah, that's what's really sick about it is like all these generations have done this. You hear like the Hozaki guy, what's his face's brother was one of them.
Oh, Waterboy?
Yeah.
I'm just going to call him Waterboy.
God, we sound like such noobs.
We sound like noob weebs.
But to be fair, like...
There's going to be a lot of names in this
also,
episode.
this is a 1,000-episode long series.
Oh, yeah. And the
and
Seven
like, this
Swordsmen...
is like in the middle.
Seven Swordsmen make like 2 appearances. Once as Edo and once alive. So, I mean...
And the Edo ones were like... people we hadn't even met, essentially.
Right, and they don't ever name the blades too. Like they're just like this of that blade, and the blade has all these cool powers. You only hear names once, but
it is a cool group.
Well, hey, speaking of seven, sir, one of the reasons why I like a good team
the seven
is
Sundays in the show.
7 Sundays. No, one of the reasons like things like
the Gung Ho Gang,
like a Gung Ho Guns.
Those guys were sick.
Those were sick.
That's our next group, Gun Ho Guns.
We could bring them up as honorable mentions, but I think as far as good teams go,
Wizards.
What is wrong with you? No, I mean, Wizards are cool, but let's not blow the whole load in the first part of the ep.
Okay, fine.
Fine. 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins are great.
Yeah, I especially like the Espada.
Oh my god. I'm going to scissor kick you off this couch.
But yeah, I do like the 7 deadly sins, and I think one of the reasons is because they're kind of vaunted at the beginning of the show. You see all the wanted posters, right?
Yes.
And you see these caricatures of them as like these like baller ass dudes, right?
Oh yeah.
Dudes and females. And they're like these mythical knights, right?
Right. They all seem to be one scarred by a sin, but also they have some kind of incredible magical power. They were gathered. They kind of never really formed organic. It almost kind of feels like the Akatsuki in that way, but their backstories all seem a little bit richer because, as we mentioned before about the 7 deadly sins, there was a massive time skip between when they became a legend and when the show starts. So they have all had not only, their time as a troop together, but they've had this huge time skip.
Speaking of troop, the Phantom Troop from Hunter x Hunter.
Is this going to be you the entire single...
This is me,
the entire
boys.
time? We're going to blow our whole load here at 15 minutes. If you want to, you can just rattle off your list that you have in your encyclopedic head if you want to.
Nah, keep going.
Okay.
When there's a buzzword, I'll say it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I can dig that. So their
Speaking
lore...
of 10 Wizard Saints...
Do you think this is good content? You think
No,
this is
but
good
it's funny.
content?
It's funny to me.
It's funny to you. Well, okay, so who's your favorite member of the 7 deadly sins?
Escanor. Lord God Escanor. Merlin is my second favorite.
Who do you think has the best backstory? Because this is a lore-heavy group. This is a group that has a lot of lore inside of it and a lot of interconnecting lore.
Okay, to be honest,
yes,
the one that I hate the most, I think, has the best backstory. Maybe Bond. I like Bond.
Bond's is pretty good.
But I was going to say Diane because you see her as a little kid, right?
Yeah.
And you see like the whole giant like society and like what they want her to do. She doesn't want to be a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see all the stuff with King and like you see like most of her freaking backstory, right?
Yeah.
And so I liked that a lot.
I did kind of like King's. I like that he has a good redemption story because he definitely disgraced himself by just, him being the ex-fairy king, or then I guess a fairy king later, but...
I just like him because he likes Diane.
You just don't like him because he likes Diane?
That, and he's like, honestly a dickhead toward Bond and both Meliodas and Bond.
He is kind of a dick.
For like genuinely no reason. Like Bond was there to protect the Fountain of Youth and his sister as he abandoned it, and he was like all mad because he got together with Elaine. And it's like, dude, you were gone. What the hell?
You did peace out. That is kind of on you. So
super on him.
Yeah, Meliodas has a pretty good backstory, but it's kind of obvious through the plot.
It's still veiled though.
Yeah, it's not 100% there. I think there's an arc coming up in season 3 that we will get more about that because it was hinted at the end of season 2 about more of his backstory.
Are you on track with that or not?
With
been like 4 episodes
right now. I haven't seen it yet. I actually.
I saw episode 1.
How'd you feel?
Bad.
I
mean, nothing really happened.
So you feel is that kind of a common curse now for?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Hot shows like My Hero Academia had this filler ep, and now this one like.
I don't think it was a filler ep, but it was not
is lacking.
Well, so like we left off at the end of last season, they had killed one of the 10 Commandments, and Meliodas had like lost control a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the end. Is like they were chatting about that, him and Liz and Bond and some of those dudes, and like the first episode is like dorky as hell. Like,
right,
you go to this town and there's some demons like eating people. It's like, well, that's kind of. They're like low level. They're not commandments. They're nothing.
Did anyone kind of flex a little bit on that, or?
I mean, obviously the 7 Deadly Sins came in and just waxed them, and it's like,
fun.
Yeah, but they're babies.
They're babies, just to
baby demons.
It's just to get your feet wet again, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
But you did mention when it comes to teams and shows with teams, a lot of your insane ramblings over there. We're Bleach teams.
What?
Bleach teams.
Yes, there's a lot of good ones.
That show seems to be the king of the teams, the king of the squads, because there's literally 13
I'm gonna start
squads.
off with the most disappointing.
Oh, okay. Hit me.
Zero Squad.
Oh, from the 1,000-Year Blood arc.
Yeah, but they hinted earlier.
Okay. Then
But yeah, maybe it is whatever.
The Zero Squad.
Anyway,
yeah.
So there's supposedly this. So remember some of the captains just vanish at one point, and then new captains come in.
Yes.
So they had gotten promoted. That's why Kisuke even becomes a captain, because the captain of the 5th originally, or whatever he was, 2nd.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a long freaking time. I've only seen the show 5 times. I've only seen it 5 times, y'all. So Kisuke gets promoted because the captain that was there but previously gets promoted to the Zero Squad. So what the Zero Squad is supposed to be, it's all these captains with like insane accolades. So they've either created some type of keto, they created some type of healing, they created Zanpakuto as one of the guys.
There it is. Yeah. So they and like one of them named all Zanpakuto come from him. Exactly. All the names of them.
And so it's supposed to be this group that like directly protects the Soul King.
Yes.
And so it's supposed to be like these nutso sick guys. And then if you like, so I didn't obviously watch that portion of it because 1,000-Year Blood arc never got
animated.
But I had to keep up with it via like scans and stuff like that on people's videos, like talking through it. They don't do jack shit.
I think that was a product of how crazy strong the Quincy were, and that was a bit disappointing.
Okay,
right?
but if captains are doing okay, right?
Right. That's the one thing that never got
Zero
me.
Squad should still be doing okay.
But some of those Quincy hacks were absolutely
I mean, the
bullshit.
hacks are insane.
The hacks are dumb.
So let's talk about the groups, though.
Okay.
So there's the Zero Squad. I thought was really disappointing.
Okay.
There's obviously the Gote 13. The captains are so sick.
I think we need to take a bit of time to talk about the Gote 13.
Of course,
because
we will.
it's literally
Just let me list them.
Never. You had your chance
Vizers.
of listing. You literally listed him earlier.
Vizers.
Okay.
Espada.
Okay.
Sternritter.
Yes.
Those are like the 5 big groups.
And the Fullbringers.
Who?
The Fullbringers?
Who's that?
Oh, good. Yeah, me neither.
You just got punked, kid. I thought you were gonna bring up the bounce.
The bounce? Nope.
Yeah.
Just that one arc that shall not be discussed ever again. But yeah,
So what's sick about the captains? The court guard squad.
It's unique in that a show can have so many teams, and yet each team seems to have its own philosophy, methodology, symbolism, and even just their fighting style. I mean, hell, I remember there was one, I think it was either the 4th or 5th, the one, is it Wasabe or the guy who has the J?
Wasabe.
Zanpakuto. Kizaru? Is that his real name?
Is his name.
Oh, okay.
Well, Biscay is the...
I'm thinking because he has the marigold, which is a symbol for melancholy and like death, and he's like all about like judgment and melancholy, and his entire persona, his entire Zanpakuto, and his entire squad.
Kizaru.
Is it
his
Kizaru?
Zanpakuto is Wabisque.
Wabisque, that's
you
what I was
literally
thinking.
got this right.
Okay, I know.
In a previous episode when I quizzed you, you got this right.
I know. I was thinking that it's Zanpakuto and not him.
I think his name is Kizaru Izaya or something like that.
I can buy that.
Anyway.
Sure. But yeah, I think for a show that seems so tightly packed with so many characters, it was really well done how they managed to stand out from one another, just in the way they acted and ran their squads. So I
very much like the separation between squads.
Oh yeah.
Like when you're in a squad, unless you get promoted to like captaincy or something like that out of a different squad, like you're in your squad and that's kind of it.
That's your whole shtick. Like
that's like your world, right?
Yeah.
And they all have different territories. It's like very, very cool the way they did that. And
I forgot how they had a territorial system. Yeah, you're right. This is like the 11th squad's like area. What are you doing in my dojo, boy? We're gonna come up and smack your face. Get out.
I'm gonna Kenpachi your ass.
Kenpachi your ass. Who was your favorite squad? Easy. Who was your favorite squad?
Jeez. So there's a couple I think are really cool. I think the second squad, they have like an actual name, like Omitsuki or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's Soifon's
squad. It's the assassination department, essentially.
Assassination, guards of the prison, all those like.
It's like they're almost like the police and
the
assassin
ninja
force.
boys.
They're essentially the best you're gonna get at
the
ninja boys.
Shoins.
The Shoins. I like them too.
So those guys are really cool. I liked obviously the battle squad, Zaraki.
11th. Woo! I love the 11th squad, man. They are awesome. Who? I'm trying to think. Is it the 12th squad, which is the research department?
Yeah, that's the other one I was gonna say.
I like them. I like them a lot because it seems that they have more plot implications than a lot of others. Even a lot of the filler came from them.
Plus, you see like just a lot of them. Like it seems like them and the healing guys. Obviously, like everyone that gets involved, like all the way down to the 5th seat.
Right.
But like, so wrapping this up a little bit from the captain's perspective, I loved that you got like the hierarchical system within each squad, and like they'll literally call them out by like 5th seat, 3rd seat, vice captain, captain. Like I just loved how like regimented and organized all of that was.
That's the thing. You do love when you have each person in a squad has some kind of title to dictate their, basically their power, like how powerful they are, or how this they are, or that they are. So you can tell right off the rip that like, oh snap, that's a 3rd seat. Right. Is that a vice captain? You in for it now, boy. That's like that.
It was great in the show because when these dudes showed up, something was going to go down, or like you knew the level of threat based on like who was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, now it's time to send the captains. Like,
and what was even sicker? Okay, so in Sarate, captains are unlimited, and vice captains are unlimited.
You did like this
when they come to Earth or
the
whatever
human
they
world,
call
I guess.
Realm, they put limiters on them because otherwise their soul pressure would just be tearing apart people.
They would just, people would just be torn to shreds.
Would just getting like smushed. So
smush head.
Like it was just so sick that the way they kind of handled all that. I think that does a decent amount.
Do
you have like favorite captains? Number 1, obviously, Genryusai Yamamoto.
Yeah, he's pretty badass. Burn all things to ash. Ooh.
Ryujinjika.
I like
Shinji
Byakuya or whatever. Byakuya. He basically Zenbo and Sakura is probably my favorite.
It is so sick.
The Zenbo and Sakura Kagayoshi is basically my favorite. My favorite Bankai.
Kagayoshi.
It's untouchable. It's like, I think I mentioned it in the past of favorite weapons, just when we talk about Bleach. It is so powerful that he had to put a restriction around how close to him it can move, because he knew if that were limited, that word be turned off, which he does at one point to beat somebody, then it would actually tear him to shreds. So I just love everything about that Bankai. So he's probably my favorite captain. Kenpachi, I like him because he's kind of a mysterious dude. You really don't know his Shikai or his Bankai. I mean, you learn about it later, and he does show up, but even once it shows up, you still don't know too much about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's sick. I think Retsu Onohana is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you like read on past the show.
It's a crying shame that was never animated.
Yeah, it's honestly a disgrace.
Johnny,
I've got a case.
Keep campaign. If you got a case, you got a case. So
I love those guys.
Johnny Young Vosh, bring it back.
What do you think of Kyokura or whatever his name was in Utikaka?
You got to help me out here a little bit.
The 2 direct disciples of.
Oh yeah, I like
Jushiro Utikate or something like that.
Oh, he's the really white-haired sick one.
Ukitaka.
Yeah, he was the white-haired sick one, and the other one had the sweet Shishui, and I liked his Shikai a lot. Basically where he can turn child's games to his advantage.
I loved that.
That's so like, it's so tied to his personality that it just makes for a very interesting fight when their personal philosophy is illustrated on the battlefield. So I like that a lot. So
sick.
When I would I loved
Visitors, I loved Espada, and less interested in Stern Ritter, even though they were very cool.
They were pretty cool, but that was Quincy Hack Group, yeah. I don't know. Hacks are fine in a place, but I kind of like a little bit of struggle, a little conflict when teams goes against teams, and the team that embodies this the most in anime, in my opinion, is the Survey Corps from Attack on Titan. This team, this squad,
this is
basically.
I think based on the look he just gave me, this is his crowning jewel.
It is not. No. But this squad, basically, their task is impossible. I mean, literally, when they're starting out, it's a bunch of these kids that need to be trained up to move 360 degrees in the air in any direction and slice, towering monsters in an exact spot. What basically, I like this team like the most to show progression, because they went from sniveling kids with a burning ache in their heart to kill fucking titans, as Aaron constantly is saying, to actual kind of badasses. Well, Misaka was always a badass, but I don't know. What do you think about the Survey Corps as a squad? Do you really think they're carried by the big 3, or do they make for a decent team?
I think what kind of sucks for them is they're seen as disposable.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they made a name for themselves despite being disposable.
Literally being disposable.
By being disposable and not being disposed. Like, they're still kicking. Like, okay, you guys have good chops, and, it's led by a Tumblr favorite, Captain Levi.
Well, what I'll say is I love the structure of those, where, like, they have their commander, and then there's their, like, vice captains, essentially.
Right.
So, like, the hierarchical system that kind of flows along with, like, what we talked about in the Gote 13. The fact that there's like seats essentially, right? That's pretty sweet. What I did like, and this is going to be very far off the wall tangent, the way they kind of view it as is, you survive some of these battles with the Survey Corps, you could survive only like 2 or 3, and you're already a veteran. Because there's this, like in season 3 or 4, I don't know what the hell we're on now. There's this kind of newer guy. And he's talking about like wanting to join with them on certain missions, and these guys that we grew up with are basically like, yeah, we're veterans, do what we say. And
Yeah.
here's the off the wall part. There's a show called Band of Brothers.
Wow, we are going
It's one
off
of the
the
best
wall.
shows of all time.
Not saying it's not. Just
It's about
is
World
that,
War
is
II.
that, is that an anime?
It is not. It's about World War II, and it follows Easy Company, which is like the first airborne Rangers, essentially jumping in behind enemy lines, parachuting in, and like dealing with basically the Germans, right? And so there's like an obvious distinction between the guys who jumped on D-Day and the guys who were replacements later. So like all you had to do was be in that first battle and survive, and then you're already a veteran, right?
Right.
So, I mean, you see the tangential thread I'm
I
pulling
get
at
where
here.
you're going with it. One guy was isekai'd. It was a whole thing. It was crazy. Yeah, keep going. You know, Private John is now somewhere, some hero somewhere in an isekai world. So.
All I'm saying is, what's really cool is the idea of like, in this squad or in this war, for instance, if you survive even a short period of time, you're already like so far above like a novice. Like you are now a veteran just by like living through 1 or 2 engagements.
Right.
I thought that idea was very cool and also relatable to like some of those early wars that we saw in human history. Like think about like Vinland Saga-esque. You last a couple battles as a Viking, you're like, I'm fucking invincible.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yo, yeah, that's why Thor's was considered like a god on the battlefield, because he survived, I want to say probably like a dozen, and just like a hand, like, you know, like more than a small handful, but like maybe not more you can count on 2 hands. So after just that, he was like, he's the troll of Yon. Yeah. So he's literally considered a troll on the battlefield. So I get where you're coming from. You really round the bases on that one, but you slid in a home like a G. I'll have to.
That was quite the arc.
It really was.
I had my own story arc in the middle of that.
But yeah, no, there's something really endearing about the Survey Corps. I mean, I think part of it is the peril that they have to go through together. Some of them, others are actually endearing. Whoever the weird food obsessed one is, and yeah, right. It's a couple of them. Sasha, yeah. So I mean, they have a good group dynamic, but I think, you know, group dynamics and interpersonal relationships within a group can turn a solo flat character, if you get enough of them together, they will be organic, you know, together. And someone maybe on your list that you probably would consider one of the best squads in anime right now is probably the Black Bulls. Because they embody that. I personally think that each one of them individually is a very flat character, but together they make for really endearing, you know, like moments and scenarios.
I think I will correct you slightly.
Hit me.
I think they were flat before Asta, Noelle, etc. joined.
I'll bite. I can buy that.
They're all growing in a lot of ways now,
because
they've all got depth as a group.
Yes,
I
for
think,
sure.
Yeah, but super love Black Bulls. I love the entire system, like just the captains.
It's a broken record, Ethan, today. He loves him as captains.
I love the captains, damn it.
I just want a captain. I want a senpai.
I am a dancho. Yeah, that's really cool. So this is what I meant by like the group idea is a little amorphous, because I do really like them as a group. Other groups I like, Straw Hats from One Piece, obviously.
That's a squad. That's a crew. So what makes
the Red Hair Pirates?
What makes the Straw Hats something that's been so endearing and lasting over 1,000 episodes? How, you know,
25 years.
How
it's literally almost as old as us, dog.
Right. So how do you think they've managed to keep them a fresh crew for that long?
Yeah, so I mean, they're so individual. Like each person is very different, and they were brought onto the crew to do very specific things.
Okay.
So like, Zoro was brought on as like the first mate essentially. And he's there to be like his swordsman.
Literally his
Like
sword.
so, like
Okay.
Luffy when he was setting out, he had like these ideas of what a crew is,
Mm-hmm.
and he just sought to fill the roles.
Okay, that's actually kind of rad.
So like Sanji is the cook,
Okay, yeah.
the Blackfoot.
Blackfoot dude.
Then he was looking for a musician, so he picked up Brooks.
Which one's Brooks?
He's a skeleton boy.
Oh God, is that the one? No, that's not the one.
He's a rock star.
He's the rock star. Okay, who's the one that's kind of a putz with the long nose?
That would be Usopp.
Usopp, that's it. Okay.
He's his marksman.
Is he a good one?
Early on, he sucks dick, and now he's very good.
Okay, cool. I figure they're gonna catch someone up eventually if they suck.
Yeah, he's got his black kabuto.
If he's still sucking 1,000+ episodes in, I hate to break it to you, bud, cut him loose.
Yeah.
Luffy, that's a bad hire. You gotta cut him dry.
It's a bad hire. I hate him.
His ROI is weak.
He's got the navigator Nami.
Okay.
He's got the doctor Chopper.
Yeah, little reindeer boy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of One Piece, and there will come a day when I have to bite that bullet. An episode a day will, even with the show progression, 3 years. 3 years, because it'll keep going ahead of me. So, oh my God, 3 years
Yeah,
of
you'll like
watching it
deadass
every
never
day.
catch up.
No, but the one thing I've watched a couple fights, watched a couple funny moments, and Chopper has always seemed so endearing to me. It's like so cool, and he's just what now? What you
He's
just?
a doctor.
He's a doctor. Yeah, I don't know if I trust the tiny reindeer boy to be doing
Watch
a doctor.
the show, you'll get it.
Okay.
I said Nami was the navigator. Robin is the archaeologist.
They need an archaeologist for what now?
There's like these.
I guess it is for or treasure hunting, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, there's like things going on.
Imagine they finally found it. It's like, all right, Robin, do your fucking job. Dig it up.
There's Frankie who like he builds weapons, like repairs a ship, stuff like that.
Okay.
He's a shipwright essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've added a couple people recently. Jinbei, which is like the helmsman.
That's cool.
He's this massive fish guy.
He's a fish dude.
Yeah.
That's where the fish baby from Ari Ferretta from last episode came from.
No.
That's where see mysteries.
But
it's all connected.
So awesome squad. Love basically them together as a team.
They are a good example of how to. So you know.
I'll say.
Yeah. What?
There's some cool other global groups in One Piece that I really love.
Okay.
The Yonko.
And who are they?
They're the 4 emperors of the sea.
Whoa.
So it's basically 4 insanely powerful, like Titan level pirates.
Wow.
That basically are like the superpower. The way they set it up is there's the Navy, there's the Yonko, and then I guess like the rest of the world.
Navy,
like the two,
Yonko, and everybody else.
Like they're the 2 opposing powers. A lot of pirates filter under Yonko because they're so freaking strong. You don't want to mess with them.
So you basically align yourself. Okay,
right.
So they're an example of a squad that have gotten so OP that squads kind of file underneath.
Right.
That's cool.
So there's this big giant dude Kaido, who he's like unkillable. He's like massive.
Unkillable.
Like literally the size of a mountain. He jumped off of a floating mountain, a floating island to try to kill himself and couldn't.
He couldn't do it.
You've got Shanks, who's
Okay.
red hair, who's the guy you see in the very very beginning of One Piece.
Okay.
Big Mom, who has like all these islands that she
Big
owns.
Mom.
She's a big fat chickie.
Ooh, so this is the anime effect. If it's anime you haven't seen, explaining it so many episodes in, it's just, even if you're a veteran, you're like, that's wild.
Yeah.
So literally an owner of literally a string of islands named Big Mom. Okay, continue.
And then in the beginning of the series, it's Whitebeard is the 4th.
Whitebeard, okay. Which means at some point he is no longer? Way to spoil it, Ethan. Shit.
Guys,
it's not like it's 25 years old or anything.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man.
But yeah, One Piece is
But like that's really cool. And then there's a subgroup, the Shishubukai. It's like the 7 warlords. So they're pirates that the Navy and the world government basically hired, said you can do whatever you want, except for when we call you, you have to come fight for us.
That's some adventure style shit, right? Because basically that's like when you're called upon, you have to do this.
Exactly.
Thing. Okay. So who has more squads as a concept? Bleach or One Piece? More distinct squads.
I think you have to say so. distinct squads.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
So like there's a lot more
a group by a title.
pirates.
A group by a title, and it can't just be a person. Like a group.
Oh, there's a lot of pirate squads.
Well, then, so who has more? One Piece or
Bleach?
Bleach.
Sorry,
really?
One Piece.
Oh
a
man,
mistake.
but that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you have a whole ocean of ships that are literally all can be labeled as a distinct
Yeah,
squad.
and then
So
there's literally like the supernovas. So it's the way they rank people, like dangerousness and like notoriety, is like the amount of their bounty.
okay, that makes sense. I can see
So
that.
they called this group called the Supernovas,
Okay.
which were like rookie pirates, not in the New World yet, that had a bounty over 100,000 berries by some point.
Okay.
So Luffy and Zoro were on it, and then there's a bunch of different captains of these like fledgling like pirate crews that are working to become like big deals. Also are on that list.
Interesting.
Captain Kidd.
Ooh, they got a Captain Kidd.
Yeah, and his
Is he anything like the real
his
Captain
right hand
Kidd?
man killer. No comment.
So
Hawkins.
So what do you like? What defines a squad for you?
And I will just say one last thing. This is going on to Fairy Tale.
Oh,
The 10 Great Wizard Saints.
okay.
And what I loved about this list is we knew like maybe 4 of them the whole time, maybe 5. They told us relatively where their level was on the list.
Okay.
And they said basically 10 is the weakest of the 10 Great Wizard Saints and 1 is the strongest. And they basically didn't tell us any of the top 5. And they said the Guild Master of Fairy Tale is one of the 10 Great Wizard Saints. And then as time
Whoa.
progresses throughout, you're seeing like kind of some flip-floppy through the lists.
Oh, that's rad, but you never hear one? Maybe?
No.
I don't know. I didn't see that far in a Fairy Tale.
Well, you would know who 1 is, but
Okay.
at the
okay.
time, like this is almost 10 years later. For most of the series, even in like literally until this season, you didn't know
Interesting.
who 1, 2, 3 was.
Okay.
But what I loved about it was there's this guy Jura Nikens. He was one of the 10 Great Wizard Saints.
Okay.
And in the early part of the show, they list him as like 10 or 9 or something like that, like right around where Markov is, who's the guild master for Fairy Tale. And then later on in the series, they literally mention that he's moved up the list to like number 5.
Whoa.
And you see like a marked difference in his abilities.
That's crazy. So there is a way to either you can rise in the ranks. Is there a decision, or is it like a 1v1
So it's like
combat?
a magic council is literally deciding who the top 10 are.
Gotcha. That's cool, man. And the one like what I asked you before, we've heard a lot of squads in this particular episode. What do you define as a squad? What do you personally need to see, or what kind of rule positions need to be in place for you to say that's a squad, that's a proper team? It seems that you like the idea of titles and rankings. Like that
so
to you needs to be a thing.
Well, that will get me invested. If it's like 10 Great Wizard Saints, these are the 10 best wizards in all of whatever this world is that we live in.
Okay.
And there's some sort of ranking within. I'll tell you about 5 of them, but you'll have to learn about 5 later, right? Like I like the mystery.
Okay.
I like the ability to meet these people throughout the series, like keep me going.
So maybe it's not the title and the ranking, but a squad. By naming a squad, it gives them almost a mythos. So for you, being good enough to be on a certain team,
or a list, frankly.
Okay, that's cool. Because
like a Yonko, right?
Yeah.
You can only be a Yonko if like everyone agrees you're like one of the 4 emperors, because Yon is 4,
right?
Or Yo, right? And then later on, the newspaper is basically deciding who is considered because of the clout.
Okay, so basically,
and so they're like, is Luffy the 5th emperor?
Oh, because they're talking him up. That's actually kind of cool.
So it's cool that like in a lot of these big like groups per se, it's really like the mythos and notoriety of that person makes them part of the group.
I got you.
So like Akatsuki,
Right.
Remember, they said we're not coming to talk to anybody unless they're S-class rogue ninjas.
That's just the baseline to get into the group.
Exactly.
Okay, so requirements.
So, like, having, like, these guys have to be, like, top of the top to get in my group.
That's a perfect segue because I think for me, a squad requires bottom line baseline. Like, there needs to be a point where an individual can breach, and then they're allowed into the squad.
So, Survey Corps, what's the bottom?
What's the bottom? Use the omnidirectional gear. If you can't do that, you're not even in the group. But apparently it's super hard to use.
Fair enough.
And I like the idea that Aaron used a malfunctioning one and still got it.
Yeah.
I think the people who kind of exemplify this the best is the Alchemist State Army from Full Metal Alchemist. You have to take an alchemy exam against a colonel. Like, you have to take that. You have to perform in front of the leader. And you actually have to go through steps, and you can't keep your state alchemy license unless you have it reoccurring. Hence, it leads to very, forbidden practices by some alchemists just to stay on the state alchemy list, because it's a very much a kind of it's less of like a hunter license where once you get it, like, hey, I can keep this now. It's like, no, every year, the work that got you in, that
Speaking
has
of
to be,
hunters, the 10 Zodiacs.
The 10 Zodiacs.
Is it 10?
No, it's the Phantom Troop or the 10 Zodiacs?
Zodiacs.
Okay. Is this from a different arc I don't know about?
Shouldn't
Am I being crazy right now?
You are.
Define for me the Zodiacs then.
The Zodiacs are the top hunters.
Oh yeah, them. I actually didn't really care for them.
Wow, I loved them.
I didn't really care because I guess the whole point of them is they only have like this political arc at the end. They only have like who's gonna be the next chairman.
Okay, well,
I think their introduction, like, I like the idea of the top 10 hunters. The way they're presented, I actually didn't like that. I would think that the Phantom Troop is a way better squad in that show.
It is, but what I would say is it whetted my beak, and now I'm so ready to figure out how sick the Zodiacs are.
I don't even know. I haven't read the new continent, the Dark Continent
I haven't
arc.
either. But
Yeah,
that's
the
not
Succession
point.
arc.
The point is,
yeah,
there's this mythos about them. For some reason, these however many Zodiacs there are the top. You know what I mean?
Right. They're called in by Netero
like this
himself.
this is the dragon. This is the same as the Hashiras, right?
Yeah.
There's this specific set of top breathers in each of these
practices of total concentration. I can see that. Okay.
Like, second they said Hashiras, I freaking lost it.
You're already
they
in.
say Zodiacs or like Phantom Troop is sick too.
I can hear Ethan screaming from my apartment.
Hashira! They're very Phantom Troop and Akatsuki, I think, are very kind of
yeah. However, I like that the Phantom Troop has the numberings.
System.
That actually what tips it over a little bit is a more interesting thing, because you can rise there seems to be a ranking you can rise where the Akatsuki have a single goal. There is no rankings. You're on a team. Like, you're already made it. Like, you've already risen the rank.
But what's cool about the Phantom Troop, if you kill one of them, you get to take their number.
Yes, I love that shit. I love the 1v1, like, you're number 4 and number 6. Let's go, buddy. I want that 4. And if they kill you, it's like we got everyone else. Does that mean if like number 4 kills number, they could just move up? That's rad. That's super cool. I love that.
There's 8 of them, I think, total.
Mm-hmm.
8 legs of the snake. Or, sorry.
Holy
shit, legs of the snake, folks.
Like, you heard it here first, folks. Snakes have legs here in the lab. No, it's
Spideys.
9. There's 8 legs in the head.
Well, I didn't know that the head counted as a number. I thought it was just a spider on his back.
I don't know. But I know
either way, 8 legs.
8 legs. Who else? What other good groups? Actually, one of my unconventional teams that I think was a proper tiny squad was Emma, Ray, and Norman from The Promised Neverland.
Very non-conventional. I like
non-conventional because, one, they each had a role to play, and they played it perfectly. Emma was that dreamer, and they'd never have gotten as many people out as they did unless she played her part of the dreamer. We have Norman, who was the proper tactician and big-brained everybody, and that even including Ray, who was probably the most traditionally smart of the three. And he was the mechanic that could think ahead. So those 3 made for one of the tightest, most endearing tiny squads I've seen in anime in a very, very long time. So I think for me, honestly 3 and up is a squad. If it depends. It's hard for a 3-man squad. I can't think of another 3-man team to even like a trio, if you will, to be considered a squad. They're the only ones I can possibly think of, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to ruin your whole life here.
Hit me.
Ash, Misty, Brock. Squad!
Oh, but they got Pikachu. Don't you discount Pikachu. He's number 4.
They're tools.
They're a quartet.
They're tools.
Did you just call Pokemon
Pokemon are tools.
Ash Ketchum would like some choice words for you, my friend.
At me.
Don't at me. I'm just chilling. Let's see. I guess a squad of 3. There was Soul Eater, Black Star, Death's Son, and what's her face? That show ended so poorly. What's her name again? Maka, yeah. And they were not a bad 3-man squad. They were pretty tight in a lot of ways, but they also had their soul weapons. So I mean,
see, to me, like the best way you could break those guys down is like they're students at they're Reapers,
right?
But they're like it's not. I don't think it's as cool and granulated as something like.
So I'm glad you brought up classrooms. Well, I mean, I want to say Class 1A from My Hero Academia, but do you think that Class 3E from Assassination Classroom is a proper squad? Do they transcend just being students and classmates to actually being a proper squad? Because they are they're taught to be an assassination squad to kill essentially a Mach 10 demon, so...
This is a tough one. I think they don't necessarily meet my there's no baseline, right? There's
Squadteria in a way.
Well, I mean they did not meet a baseline skill level to be in 3E, right? They were just all the dumbest students at this school.
They were. I mean? They were so dumb they put them on a different campus.
They said, fuck those guys. They're honestly so dumb they're making the rest of us stupid.
That's exactly what happens. So
it's infecting me.
So I think part of I don't know.
So no.
So no.
Just to be
okay.
careful.
So wrap it up. Proper squad. A proper squad needs some kind of structure, like kind of a title or ranking system to allow people to get better in their own right. There needs to be, this isn't necessarily...
Can I do an honorable mention?
You may totally do an honorable mention.
So this is a show I know you haven't watched.
Okay.
It is in Akame ga Kill.
True. Just calling me out like that. Well, it's true. I mean, I got to go back and watch it, so...
The squad is Night Raid.
That sounds edgy and rad.
So the first episode...
Okay.
Basically, our main character comes to this new town, and he's trying to make a name for himself, make money to basically feed his village.
Sounds great.
And so he's hearing about this Night Raid, which is this apparently assassination group that's coming in, just killing royals, killing like royal army members and stuff like that, and just like only at night and like for no reason, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So in that first episode, you see these wanted posters, exactly like 7 Deadly Sins, with some of their names and faces on them. And so basically there's this group, the Night Raid. They're wanted. There's some notoriousness to them, and there's this mythos about them where they're like insanely strong, they're killing for no reason, whatever. And come to find out, it's not exactly what meets the eye, but it is a very interesting squad. That is a great honorable mention, and you need to watch the show.
I feel like I need to watch it. It's on my list of classics I skipped because I was enamored by seasonal anime.
Consider yourself almost pitched.
Ooh, okay, maybe we'll save it for another pitch or ditch.
Yeah.
Y'all. So yeah, that was a good segue. Mythos is important to a good squad. You need the name of the squad and what the squad represents needs to precede the actual members of the squad, like the Wizard Saints and maybe the Akatsuki in a lot of ways, and the Hokage.
How about the S-Class Heroes?
And the S-Class Heroes. They also, and that's also the thing.
Was this where you were going?
A little bit, kind of, yeah. Like
that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
They
dude.
had such a good lore setup that literally everyone looks up. There's like C and B and A and then S rank at the top. There is a huge gap, and they cannot fail to talk about it every single episode. So that's another one. That's probably my honorable mention. They're not really a squad. They don't really work together. They do sometimes. Only when the situation deems it so.
Well,
They're
now they're
a
the
loose
10
squad.
great Wizard Saints, right?
They're kind of the same way.
You know, they're just basically ranked based on power, and there's 10 of them, so that's how they became like kind of clumped together as that group. So S-class heroes are very interesting in that there's that baseline, you got to beat whatever over A-class, and then they're all ranked, and there's like flippy-floppy throughout the ranks throughout the show.
And you could rise.
And whatever, and that's pretty sweet.
And S rank seems pretty locked in, though, you know? Like, you don't really see too much shift in the One Punch Man lore.
I think you do.
Do you really? Is
Yeah.
there actually a rising? I guess Demon Cyborg is really kind of it.
Yeah,
Is
there's
the main
others.
Is there others that rise in the rank of S?
Sure is.
Huh. In the show? Like in the
It hasn't
animated
happened
show?
yet.
But soon. It'll happen soon.
It'll happen soon, dude.
But yeah, I think that really does it for the squad discussion. That's really, you know, it's interesting to see I think you and I are a lot alike on our squads in some ways, but I feel like the baseline thing for me is very important. I don't necessarily care much about the titles or the rankings, but it does help. It takes a valid squad to a good squad for me. I think you could still be a proper squad without the titles and rankings, but adding that flavor, adding that panache helps with making a solid squad.
I don't know. I obviously just like specifically like mythologically like rated highly squads, right? Like
Yeah.
I just think if they're part of the lore, even like they're members of the world you're kind of in, but they like straight up make the lore.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is just so insane to me. And like I love when they drip feed you some, but I do hate when they never like fully finish. Like say they say 10 great wizard saints and you legit know 8 of them.
And you never
that
find out
pisses me off like a mug.
Do you feel that that's going to happen with the 12 Kiseki from Demon Slayer?
Honestly, bad group. Can I just say that?
Hit me. Well, what makes them bad?
I feel like a lot of them have died already.
No, only
He
lower.
just killed 5, dog.
Oh, true. Lower 5. I think he's going to replace him.
He might, but like
he did say he had half a mind not to. But maybe that squad just got. But that's the thing. If the own leader felt, he even said it in the show, the top 6 have not changed. Yet I'm constantly losing lower 6. Doesn't that just add to the mythos of what you like to see in the top 6? Because that just the leader of the group 6 through 1, you know. But yeah, a lot of good squads. A lot of really good squads in anime. I think that's kind of a mainstay with shonen anime specifically.
It super is.
But
I like that we did acknowledge like a group like the Survey Squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're I think kind of squad lowercase s, and then like a Yonko is a squad.
Go to
like
13
uppercase s
squads. Yeah.
Like yeah, exactly. Squads lowercase, Espada uppercase.
So for you, it is the gravity of the squad itself, like the lore behind the squad itself.
Well, because what I and like not to like super harp on this, but captains, like squads in there. There's a lot of people.
Hey, but do you
them,
like
right?
do you like captains though? Do you like captains maybe? How about vice captains? How do you feel about vice captains?
All right. I guess I've overstayed my welcome.
Yeah, you know what? I get your apartment now. You can just go up and leave. It's cool. You can take the pinball machine though. Actually, you know what? Keep that here. That's pretty cool.
What I was saying is Espada are like the top of the top, and they only have like the only sub people in their squad are the Fraccione.
Yes, their own little mini teams.
Right. So like that doesn't feel as like generic squad as like a Gote squad 12. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Like it feels a little more
Fleshed out maybe?
like parsed.
Parsed? Okay. So you like your squads compartmentalized with smaller and smaller compartments.
Yeah, I like little cells of terrorists.
Oh God, you heard it here first, folks. But not the last time. Ethan's pro-terrorism.
I didn't say that.
I don't know. You like your terrorist cells, so
An anime, folks.
An anime. I like anime terrorists.
One last honorable mention, and I'm not gonna get into it too bad. The Colorless Gang from Durarara.
Oh yeah,
They're like the color gangs. I loved that shit.
That's a cool concept. I think didn't Project K have the same stuff? You ever see that one?
I did.
Yeah.
That was
they have pretty similar.
bad.
I liked it. K's pretty popular.
It is.
Yeah, I think they had more than one. I think the
I
OG
thought it was dorky.
It is pretty dorky. I mean, it's like classical anime.
Another honorable mention because there's just squads everywhere.
You just all squatted up today.
It's like Codebreaker. There's like 01 through 08 or something like that. Is there like
Codebreaker?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. Have I?
Probably not.
Okay.
Codebreaker 07. Look it up.
Okay.
Patrick hated it, but he also has really bad taste in anime.
Ooh, did you hear that, RoboPat? Even just called you out to the world.
You absolute fool.
I like the 9 cyborgs from 00 and Cyborg 009. They're all pretty unique powers. 009 can stop time with his molar, which is pretty, or not stop time, slow it to himself, which is pretty rad.
Shit.
Yeah.
We got another honorable mention.
Oh my gosh, this episode will never end.
The guys from JoJo's.
Oh, part 3?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
The tarot card boys.
What a squad. Oh my god. You know what? Yeah, that's a perfect honorable mention because they had that big squad energy from day one. The way they drank that iced tea. Ooh, that's some squad game right there.
That's the tease.
And that's the tease, sis. That's a great outro. So,
all right, so there's way too many of these bad boys.
So yeah, that's what we're saying. There are so many squads in anime. If there's a squad we missed or a squad that you really like, drop us a line at weebologypodcast@gmail.com or on our Instagram at
weebology.podcast.
Go there, follow us. We got memes on memes every single day. We try to get a meme out there for your viewing pleasure. Check out the podcast on whatever you're listening to right now, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and many more.
And
welcome to everyone on YouTube. We're not doing YouTube videos.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the little notification bell, and make sure that you get a notification every time that we post something.
Yep. Comments, reviews on Apple, and 5 stars on Apple help us a lot.
Yes.
Helps us get
and
found.
Tell a friend.
And a friend. And what? I don't know what.
A friend.
And a friend. Go tell a friend. Yeah, just get the word out. A lot of people are listening
folks.
now, so we're on the up. And
International superstar
professors. But you know what? That's it. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ethan.
And this has been Weebology.
Feces.
Pieces, Reese's, and Geesees. Did you say feces?
No. I did.